up, everyone? This is Raven, the talk show maven, Raven Blair Glover here, and I am getting ready to have an amazing interview with someone that I've gotten to know in the past few years. I just absolutely love her. You know why? Because she's unapologetic, and you'll be seeing in a minute why I'm saying that word, which she is. And I'm glad you're here. I'm glad you're here, and I'm glad we're going to be talking to Lisa Cherney. But before I bring her on and Lisa and I jump into our topic today, we want to say welcome to each and every one of you. And more importantly, I want to ask you this question. How you doing? I mean, really, how are you and your family doing? All of us here hope you're being safe, you're being healthy, and you're staying your ass at home. And when you go out, you're wearing a mask. That would be the thing, okay? We want to keep you around and keep you safe. I hope, truly from my heart to yours, I hope everyone that you know and love are doing good and feeling good. And I want to welcome you to the Amazing Women and Men of Power show. We decided to put the men on the shelf and focus on us amazing women. If you're an amazing woman in the house, let me hear you say, yeah. Come on, audience, let me hear you say, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll come more noise than that. Ready? Yeah. Yeah. We are absolutely amazing. And we love having and featuring amazing women on our show. Some that you may know and some that you may not. The one I have for you today is Lisa Cherney. And another one of my favorite people and mentors, Lisa Badass Sasevich, says it like this. Lisa Cherney is an audience favorite. She has been on my podcast and on my stage at nearly all my events, and she speaks from the heart. She helps clients get pointed in the right direction quickly. And I've been in her mentoring program, and that is no lie. Tom Mason says, Lisa is a rock star speaker. Hold on. Lisa's what? She's a rock star. And she tells it like it is. He goes on to say that we need more real messages like this to inspire us to get out of our own way and do more good in the world. And you know what? He's so right. And this is why I wanted her here today. I really did, because she is the real deal. She doesn't play. She doesn't mix words. She just let me see how they used to say it. Phyllis, you can help me. She tells it like a TIST is, right? That's what they used to say back in the day. And she does. Lisa Cherney is my guest today, and she's been advising millionaire entrepreneurs for over 20 years. She's the host of the groundbreaking confession-based GFR, I don't know if I can say that. Get F in Real podcast in 2014. And after 15 years in business, Lisa got effing real and dismantled her successful 7-figure business. She helps soulful entrepreneurs, GFR, so they can get out of their own way and help more people and make more money. You want to find out what her GFR system is? She calls it her GFR Commandments. You're going to find out today what they are and how they can help you, not just in your business, but in your life too. So Lisa and I talked about what do we want to share and what's a really great topic, and she has so many. And we decided to do the Unapologetically You. How does that sound? Right? Yeah. And we're going to discuss how being whoever the F you want to be will grow your mission-based business. Mission-based businesses are personal. In fact, they are often born from trying over a personal struggle. And this means their growth is largely an inner journey, and it's time to make it a priority. So if you've been craving change or feeling out of alignment, especially these days, and you like straight talk, buckle up. You're in for a ride. You are in for a juicy ride. Don't get it twisted. If you stand and sit down, and if you sit and stand up, because the lady for the hour is here, Lisa Cherney. Lisa.
Woohoo!
Lisa.
Thank you for that awesome introduction. I love it. I'm running down the aisle and jumping on the stage. That is
Yes,
what
you
I'm doing
are.
right now.
Yes, you are. Yes, you are. Yes, you are. And so is my green screen. It's jumping too. Lisa, first of all, let me say you always look super great when I see you, and you keep losing weight and stuff, girl. You're just gonna disappear out of here. So obviously, this quarantine time has a different effect on you than it does on me because I'm not losing. What's your secret, girlfriend?
Moving my body. My secret is not eating. So I just want to be clear on that. I am definitely enjoying my ice cream and all kinds of yummy stuff. And our family doing takeout on the weekend is like the big treat and the big event and the big decision for the weekend. Ooh, where are we going to order takeout? That's our big entertainment. So it is not eating, but it is moving my body. And I'm very much craving walking. I feel like, I know there's something also about this time that's having me like get my butt out the house and just walk around my neighborhood. And when I'm feeling happy, when I'm feeling like I need movement, when I'm feeling like I need to GFR, I move my body. So that's I think that's what's making or breaking me during this time is moving my body.
Yeah, so that's the secret. If you want to know why she looks so super good, you gotta move your body, baby. Yeah, move your body, baby. Yeah, move your body, baby. Yeah, to the left. Or is that the right? Anyway, okay. All right. Well, Lisa, there's a lot of stuff we want to talk about today and share with people how they can get effing real. But first, let's acknowledge what's happening now. How are you? And your beautiful mom is here in the audience. And by the way, see those beautiful faces up there? Let's give a hand to our audience. Phyllis, Jane, Jamie, Rhonda. Yes, thank you for coming. Love that purple hair, Jamie. Go, Jamie. Go, Jamie. So let's acknowledge what's going on here. I mean, this is a real I almost said the word effing real time, for real.
It really is. I called it my COVID crucible. It is such an invitation to take a really good look at ourselves right now. It's quite transformational.
Mm-hmm. It's do you feel like it's a time that was meant for us to pause and reflect and pivot, all those words?
I think all struggle has a purpose.
Mm-hmm.
And when you are a entrepreneur, business owner that is inspired or driven by a particular mission, it is especially important to keep your eyes wide open when the struggle happens to see what it has for you. And it doesn't mean that I perfectly do that where I'm like cheering every time, things are happening badly. And I pretty quickly, I look for the meaning, and that brings me comfort. I have had people in my life that don't agree with like everything happens for a reason or, that type of philosophy. But what I know is it brings me comfort, and it seems to make things make sense. And so that's what I'm trying to do now during this struggle. And it's what when I, work with people closely and they're in my world, that is really our approach. It's always like, okay, what's this about? What am I learning from this? What's up for me? What did this thing dust, what did this, the dust that's been kicked up from this thing, what is there for me to really look at and look for and get rid of and purge and transform. So that's what I'm all about.
Yeah, purge and transform for real. How does one handle the overload? And I don't even know if that's a big enough word of amount of stress that we all carry. What are some things that you've done, and what do you suggest to your clients?
Well, one of the major suggestions that I often lean on is stopping. And in fact, it's one of the GFR Commandments, because the GFR Commandments were born from all the different ways that my mission-driven entrepreneur clients would get in their way over my 21 years of mentoring them. I distilled it down to these 12 ways. And so one of the GFR Commandments, number 8, says, know that sometimes stopping is the most lucrative action to take. And each of the commandments has a question. This is where the confessions come in. Where do I need to pause or stop, but haven't because of fear? So when people ask me, like, what should I, what advice do you have, or what should people do that are feeling, a lot of, trauma during this time? Stop. Just like, if we don't fight what is we're being invited to do, which is very clearly to stop, that is where the wisdom comes, the ease comes, and we can like catch our breath, before we go back out there.
Yeah. And I know for all of those that believe in meditating, I think you meditate.
I do. Transcendental Meditation is my meditation of choice.
Yeah. So it's important for us to take a moment and take a breath, right? Yeah. And tap into what we're really feeling so we can let it go. We can't bury our heads in the sand, as they say. We can't just carry all this stress, I don't believe, and not acknowledge it, And I think the biggest thing that we're all dealing with, I know I certainly am, and, I don't know if our audience is, or anybody watching or listening to this, or a live audience, but I know one of the things for me was not having the control or feeling like I have the control that I normally have, right? So that the fear on top of the control, on top of the uncertainty, plus you put the news in front of it, can be pretty overwhelming, overwhelming. So as a business owner and as a leader and mentor in your industry, what are some of the things that you mentioned walk earlier, and we know you meditate. What are some things that you do and that you might want to even suggest before we get into our topic today to those listening that they can maybe consider doing to help them get past this time?
I think it's really important and fun, particularly during this time, to follow our creative nudges. Now, me as a mission-driven entrepreneur, I've been doing this for 21 years. I have morphed my expression, or as some people call, reinvented myself at least 3 significant times. And each time it's based on things that have bubbled up for me, things that I feel like I want to take a stand for and ways that I want to help people. And I really feel like the best advice that I can give any entrepreneur right now is to not force your pivot. And I posted in Facebook with that word pivot with that vomit emoji, which I don't get to use as often as I would like, because I feel like people are turning to that word and feeling like they have to figure out, what they need to be doing right now. And figuring it out and what I need to be doing all sound stressful and forced. And that's not what the mission-driven entrepreneur, I don't believe that's our true nature. And so So here's a great example is that within the first couple weeks of the crisis, when it was at the scariest and I felt the most fear, I was going to meetings with colleagues, and I was looking for like this feeling of community and connection and like solidarity, and I wasn't getting it. And I got up at 3:00 one morning and I realized I needed to create that gathering because it's what I needed. And within 4 days, the Love Fest for Leaders was born. And I had a friend do a logo, and I didn't rely on my team. And I just did a Facebook event. And I just knew that this is what I needed to create a space for leaders to just share and let their hair down and support each other. And it was a beautiful event. And leaders shared how I didn't even realize how much I needed this, but it was really amazing. And I didn't worry about the strategy, Raven. I didn't worry how did it fit into my business model. I didn't worry about if it was on brand or off brand. I didn't freaking overthink it. I just went with my inspiration, which is not, which is still a muscle and a way that I'm, learning to be in more and more and more. But I love that I got to have that experience of doing that. And of course, it supported my mission and was on brand and helped me get clients, because it just was a natural extension of who I am and the stand that I take in the world. So that's a good example of following your creative impulses and serving in the way that you're feeling called to serve.
And I love the fact that you said you didn't overthink it, because we all do that, overthink things, get into our head and we get away from our heart. And if we stay heart-centered, I think it helps us to gain the clarity and the trust and to tap into what we're really feeling. And as you say, be unapologetic for it, right? Which brings us to our topic. Was that a good transition?
That was pretty good transition. You've been doing this for a while, haven't you?
I'm sure maybe for nothing now. Don't get twisted. So with that said, our topic today, we're going to be talking about with Lisa on, being unapologetically you, and how being whoever the F you want to be will grow your mission-based business, But I even think it's more than that, Lisa. I think it will not only grow your mission-based business, but it will help you in growing in life. You know what I'm saying? And having the best life. What do you think? I think it's even more than this.
Abso-freaking-lutely. That topic is for, those entrepreneur-focused podcasts, but absolutely GFR-ing. It's now become an adjective or adverb, whatever that part of speech is. That the GFR-ing process is, it is a holistic thing. In fact, I just was talking to a new client the other day, and whenever I talk to new clients and I share about what I'm doing, I hear new things that I say. And I told her, what I do now is a holistic approach. It's not just like, oh, what are you going to do to launch that product? It's like, no, oh, by the way, how much do you really want to be working? And by the way, how is your relationship and the support you have in your household for what you want to do? And by the way, how's your body and your health? And it all for the mission-based business owner, my belief is that it's all part of it. And if one of those things is out of alignment, it slows you down. So the 12 GFR Commandments and those confession questions and everything that I do with our GFR squad community is all about unraveling those places where we are in our own way.
Mm-hmm. In our own way. Yeah. With all the buts behind us, right? Hey, but this, but that, but this, but that. Yeah. I read you started out, in fact, you mentioned today as the founder of consciousmarketing.com back in 1999. You've been doing this a while. How did you go from that to GFR and being known as the Queen of Clarity? Oh, yeah. We want to know. Inquiring Minds wants to know about that.
Yes. So just so we could, I could be even more relatable here. I want to let everybody know I escaped corporate America before that. So I was laid off 3 times in 2 years. I was only 28 at the time. And I took that as a sign and an invitation to not take another job and to embark on an entrepreneur's journey, which, by the way, I had never really had as a dream, but it was like I was like struck by entrepreneurship. I just knew, like, I just had stuff to say, and I wanted to be more in control of who I was working with and my destiny. And so that's how I got started. And I had in my corporate career, it was marketing and training. And so when I embarked on doing my own thing, I was meeting people. And of course, my inclination was like to help them with their marketing. And because I would see back in my day, they used to have business cards and not everybody had a website, believe it or not. And there was no social media. And so when you met somebody, it was like, it seemed to mean more in terms of who they were and how they represented themselves. And I saw this big disconnect between how they were presenting themselves in their marketing and then who they were as a person. And so consciousmarketing.com was born to help them get out of their head, into their heart, find their authentic marketing voice, and claim really who they wanted to work with more than a niche or a target, but really specifically who they felt called to work with. And it's so interesting that now, 18 years later, when I launched GFR a couple years ago, I really came around all through the journey of helping people with their sales and helping people launch and helping people leverage and helping people with their events and their speaking and all these like skills and tactics, I finally came back around to, I really want to help people be more authentic and be more real and take it to really the nth degree, because get real wasn't strong enough. I had to add the F, because that added the urgency, and it added the fire in my belly that I felt for really helping those mission-driven entrepreneurs really figure out how they are in their own way. What are the stories that are getting in the way? What are those limiting beliefs? What are those wounds from the past? All these things we hear about, but exactly how do you do that? And that's what we do now.
Boy, those limiting beliefs, that's something else. Yeah. So why do you feel we get in our own way? What causes that?
Well, I've noticed a theme, and that theme is shame. And, that's what my Get Effin' Real podcast is about, is having successful, quote unquote, entrepreneurs share how they haven't always been successful, and really how they've been through hell and back and had embarrassing things happen, things they're ashamed of, things that they want to not admit, but they come on my show and they share the nitty gritty of what happened to them that now has potency in how they're expressing in their mission in the world. And so, it just feels so important, of course, now more than ever, to really acknowledge that how about we just love ourselves, including all the things that we're ashamed to share, embarrassed to share. And when we do, here's the cool thing I really discovered: the imposter syndrome that nobody seems to be immune to at some point in their business. The imposter syndrome, the more we speak our truth, the more we GFR, the more we confess, the more we share things that used to be so shameful we would never even think of doing that.
Yeah.
The more we're seen, and the less we're worried about people finding us out, and the less we question who are we to fill in the blank. And that is the secret to the mission-driven entrepreneur's rocket fuel.
Wow, that's deep. Lisa Cherney, y'all. What can I say? Hey, here's the thing, though, that I found. When we can move into the space of, I'm just going to let it go and let it flow, afterwards, you feel like a weight has been lifted off you. When you can move into the space of, hey, I am what I am, and I am what I am. I'm free to be me, and you be free to be you.
Well, and when you were on my show, I'm looking at you and your beautiful essence, and when you were on the GFR show, you shared something that I don't know that you had shared it publicly, or for sure not
a lot, for sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that. Yeah,
right?
Really.
And afterwards, and you could share in your own words, but I remember you were a guest on my show, but you felt there was something shifted for you, that that there was a relief, that maybe you could share.
I think you're talking about when I shared with Lisa that I had this year realized that I had been raped at a young age. I was under 16 for sure, at a radio station that I used to love to sneak and go to, and it was on Lisa Sasevich. Shout out to Lisa and the Sassies. That it was on her stage when I was sharing the picture on my PowerPoint. That's me at that stage, and this is the station I used to sneak to. And then all of a sudden, it was like I had a flashback of that moment when I was pushed against the wall in the bathroom and was raped. And I never told anyone, because number one, I shouldn't have been up there. I knew my mom, they were going to be mad. So I held it in, and here I am. At the time I did that on Lisa's stage, I was 68. And it just came to me. And I remember standing on the stage just looking, and I knew I had to keep going. But afterwards, I really thought about that. And it was like, wow, that's why I never pursued radio, and I didn't even know it. I thought it was because I was scared of the FCC test, but it was really that that moment had happened and I blocked it out. And then, of course, as you know, Lisa, at 55, with mom being at the hospital, I always tell people my dream found me in the ICU unit of the hospital when I was on the phone hearing Alex say that the quickest way to become an expert is to interview experts. And you can do this thing called podcast. You can listen to Lisa's show to hear the rest of it. But yeah, and then
episode 53, y'all. Episode 53.
And it had two effects, and you guys listening in and watching in can resonate with this. When you realize something happened that you had blocked out, first you're in shock, then your emotions catch up with you. You know what I'm saying, Lisa? Where you're crying, just uncontrollable tears and trying to figure it out. But at the same time, there was a relief, because I often wondered, what happened? Did I lose sight of my dream? Was I really that scared of a test? And now it kind of makes sense, all those years. But still, there was something in me that when I heard Alex say the quickest way to become an expert is to interview experts, and you can start a podcast, there was something in me that connected instantly with that. I always thought it was because he also said, because people all over will hear you. And as a child, feeling like I was Casper, I always felt like I wasn't heard. But now I'm seeing that it could very well been the other part. So yeah, that's pretty.
So what do you feel was the benefit or the outcome for you to share that piece of information on my show that you hadn't shared before? And confessing that, if you will, what's the benefit of being real and unapologetic?
Well, because I did want to be real, and because people perceive me one way, and I'm an introvert. I also shared that on your show, which people see me with the mic and the hat and all the hula, but that's just the little Raven, way of not feeling like Casper, and want to be seen and heard. That's why I'm such a prima donna, y'all. Okay. Yeah. But I'm an introverted, forced extrovert. And so I looked at your show because I knew it was all about get, effing real. I felt like this was my chance to really get real and let people see the Raven behind the hat and the glitz and glamour and all that stuff. Okay, nobody said glamour. Well, I said it there now.
Of course, so glamour.
So they can see. And more than see, because I believe when we're podcasting and people can't see you, it's not about them seeing you, it's about them feeling you and feeling who you really are and feeling your words, And it felt good. I don't think I've ever been as open and honest, because as you know, you got a one-of-a-kind show. Let's give Lisa Cherney a hand. And you are what are you the queen of now? Get effing real?
Queen of clarity and the host of the Get Effing Real show.
Yeah, well, she's the queen of getting effing real.
I'm the queen of getting
Here's your crown, baby.
Getting effing real. Baby. Oh, thank you.
Here's your crown, baby. All that. And it just was a chance to be real and to be unapologetically for it and to not hold back, which is something that I always coach my clients before interviewing show. Let it go and let it flow. You said it early on, Lisa, when you said get out of your head and get into your heart. Because so many of you, if the live audience agrees, let me just kind of raise your hand, shake your hand or something like this. So many of us feel like we got to appear perfect, so polished. Jane said, yeah. And like you said, we're kind of, did I just say that? And nowadays, in this world we're in, even more so now because of COVID-19, people want realness. They want rawness. And that's what you bring. That's what you always brought as far as I've known you. I remember when I joined Lisa Sassovich Mastermind, and then I was so happy about joining the mastermind, and then you got on stage and said, this is it. I'm like, what I just got here and I kept saying, oh my God.
Oh, that's when I left.
And you were like, I came home and told Carly, he said, how does it feel? I said, it feels great. But I thought I was going to get 2 Lisas. I got one. I love Lisa Stassovich, but I was looking to get that clarity that I knew that you brought, and I knew just you being who you are, allow people to be more of who they are, because I think we
and
all
that's how
have
I
our
see
special
you.
blessings.
Yeah, that's how I see you too. And I think you touched on it. And I just want to highlight this idea is that by you speaking your truth and sharing that secret, you took your own advice that you give your clients, right? Which is to let it go and let it flow.
Mm-hmm.
And that illustrates what I think is really at the heart of the evolution of a mission-driven entrepreneur's business is actually them walking their own talk at an increasingly integrous, congruent level. Like it doesn't stop. It's like, how can I now step even more into what I'm telling my clients to do? And how can I even be more authentic? And what could I share even more? And I'm, looking at your studio audience, which has a couple of my clients, and that's what they're doing is like, they are GFRing in their own life that is then serving their work and up-leveling their work. And in my opinion, and in my experience of 21 years of watching y'all mission-driven entrepreneurs, it is essential. And if you try to skip it and you don't do your own work, that's where things stall or start to feel terrible.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm just curious, what's been your biggest, we talked about mine, what's been your biggest GFR moment?
I think the launch of the unofficial launch of the GFR mission was the day that I stood on the stage at my own retreat for my program called Six Figure University and told everybody that was the last retreat, and that this business wasn't feeling fun for me anymore, and that and that I needed to wind it down. And it was huge and excruciating. And I tried to wait till I had a plan B clear. And I tried to wait till it felt logical, and I tried to wait, on and on and on. And I just I couldn't in the end. I needed to make a decision. And once I made the decision, that's when, I was shown sort of what was going to be next. And I could see the next steps to take. So that is one of the most significant GFR moments in my life.
You were real and you were raw. I've got proof. I don't know about you guys. I got proof I was there.
That's where you were. Yep. We gave out those glasses.
Yes, I did. As I did, I got these, and then I got online and found me a whole bunch. I like that, so because I break them a lot. But Lisa, I remember that moment, and I remember your eyes kind of tearing up, and you just kind of let it out there, And I'd like for you to speak a little bit to our audiences that are listening live, that will hear this all over the world, and Roku, Amazon Fire, everywhere. So speak to them about letting it go, and really being unapologetic for it. Because I think, we're speaking it and saying it. And sometimes things, when you speak and say it with such ease, can be taken lightly or feel like, okay, this is, of course, I've heard this before, but really dive deep in that, because I want people to really get that. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes we hear stuff and we hear it, but it doesn't resonate with us in the way it should, because it sounds like something we just heard before, and it's so
right. Yeah, being unapologetic is, like being authentic, and what the F does that mean, and how do you do that? And it really, that's why I decided to finally just focus on the inner game of how the mission-driven entrepreneur messes with their success, because it's very complicated and not simple, and much easier said than done. And a lot of times, people that are interviewing me ask me like, well, how is it so easy for you and stuff like that? But the thing that I have seen now, holding space for this mission for 1.5 years, and I have a community called the GFR Squad, which is like a real inexpensive way to kind of give the universe a green light. Like, okay, I'm ready to to take this a little bit more seriously. I like those GFR Commandments and that Lisa Cherney, and I want to try to be more real. So what I've seen is how what seems to help people is to take baby steps, super baby steps, like minuscule micro baby steps in sharing things. So those baby steps could be sharing something that is just a little bit scary and seeing how it goes. A baby step could be sharing a big thing with maybe one person that you really trust. You know, really looking to see how can I dabble. And what I love about our GFR squad community is that it's a safe place to do that. And we even have a monthly call where we pick a commandment and those confession questions. And it's just a place to come share. And you know, last week we had somebody share it was a huge failure where a board of directors kicked her out. And she said, you know, I sometimes share part of that story when I'm introducing myself and sort of my vulnerability, but I never share the whole thing. And she shared the whole thing. And I said, well, now this is the first step in you being able to actually share that whole thing, not feel shame, see the purpose it had, be proud of it, see that it was essential. But it starts with a really small step. And sometimes that's just admitting it to yourself. Sometimes it's admitting it to your journal. Sometimes it's admitting it to one close friend. Sometimes it means starting with a small confession, like, you know what? I like wearing all black. You know, F y'all that say I have to wear my right colors and all that stuff. I like wearing black. Like there's and that was somebody's confession. Like they felt so much shame for actually liking wearing black because they had been told you shouldn't wear black. And there's so much, you know, baggage that we have about ways that we've been told how we show up and things we've done are wrong. And so baby steps. What is the smallest baby step?
I'm so glad you said that because I was going to say, where does one begin to start with it? And so you guys just heard Lisa say, start with the baby steps. And I was laughing when you said wearing black because I happened to look at my daughter, beautiful girl with the purple hair. And I used to say that, why you always wear black? Remember that? And Jamie, do you have on black now? I think you do. No, I can't tell anyway, but these are.
But her hair is gorgeous pink and that's all. That looks awesome.
Yeah, so, you know, but it was how we associated the color of black, right? You know, so, you know, we got all in the Kool-Aid and don't know the mix, huh?
Oh, Raven, you're reminding me of a quote that Bella said last night that you're going to love.
Okay.
So my daughter, she's 14, and we were talking about a similar topic. And she said, you know, if adults just didn't share their opinions with kids, we'd be happier.
Yeah.
Because she realized it's like, everything I think bad or negative or fearful is you inputting those thoughts. And you adults, you know, putting those thoughts in our heads. If you kept your opinions to yourself, we'd be happier. And I thought that was brilliant.
Absolutely. Speaking of Bella, oh my gosh, she showed me a video where Bella was dancing. Oh my goodness, that was just amazing. That girl can dance. I don't know, maybe do you have it tuned up later? We can have a little Bella as we go out of here. Hey guys, we're gonna take a quick commercial break. We are talking to the amazing Lisa Cherney, and she's all about get effing real and doing it unapologetically, which is what we're talking about. When we come back, we're gonna talk to Lisa about the struggle, the struggle that we face as entrepreneurs on our journey. All I gotta say is the struggle is real, y'all. We'll be back in a second. Stay with us, and we're so excited you're here, especially the ones in our live audience. Yay!
Are you tired of leading prospects to the close only to hear them say, it's too expensive, or I need to talk to my partner? Want to know how to confidently close more sales for your business without being pushy? Anna Scheller, host of Sales Mastery on the amazing Women of Power radio station and author of the book Black Belt Selling, can show you how. She's helped hundreds of entrepreneurs understand their sales system and make more money. Black Belt Selling is a tailored coaching system to equip you with the mindset, process, and know-how to generate more leads, set more appointments, and close more sales with confidence. To find out more, book a free 30-minute consult by going to her website, www.annascheller.com, and click the Book a Free Consultation in the corner. Just go to annascheller.com and book your free consult today.
You have something special. You have greatness in you. Hello, this is Les Brown, encouraging you to listen to Raven, the talk show maven. She will bring out your greatness. She will motivate you and inspire you to live your dreams rather than your fears. If you would like to learn how to do talk shows or interviews, make sure you call on Raven, the talk show maven. Why? Because she knows it. She can teach you the ropes. She can bring out your personality. She will teach you the things that you need to know that will accelerate your success. Make sure you call on her, Raven, the talk show maven, if you want to learn how to do a talk show or interview people and all the things you need to do to become successful. That's my story, and I'm sticking to it.
Hey everyone, this is Raven Blair Glover, Raven, the talk show maven, and you're tuned in to our first live Amazing Women and Men of Power show, probably in the past 4 years. Lisa, it feels good. I might do more of these. Hey, and we're glad you're here. We hope you're healthy and you're being safe, wherever you go. And remembering the ones you love, be safe for them. And remember, we're all in this world together, so you want to be safe for others as well. If you're listening or watching where there's a chat box, whether it's on Twitter or Facebook, Periscope, wherever you're watching, YouTube, go ahead and drop in the comments. And those of you in our live audience, I'd like to invite you to too. Drop the one thing that will help you get effing real. How about that? We're going to open up the lines and take questions with our live audience soon, questions they have for Lisa, or maybe there's something they want to talk to Lisa about to help them get effing real. We all have to do something. Sometimes it's facing the truth, or, really taking, as Michael Jackson said, a good look at the man or woman inside before you. Sometimes it has to be just letting go. Not trying to stay in control, like a lot of us, feel so out of sorts because we're not in control now. And sometimes it's as simple as just appreciating who you are. But sometimes before you can appreciate it, you got to get clarity of who you are, right? And Lisa helps her clients do that and a lot more, even though, I don't think she's still, are you still the clarity coach as well?
Yes.
Yeah, okay, yeah, so she can help you with that. And we'll talk to her about that when we come back. I just want to remind you, for those of you that are tuned into Amazing Women and Men of Power, if you like this episode, our first live episode that we will do from now on, at least once a month, please take a moment, go to Apple Podcasts and listen to an interview. And if it resonates with you, go ahead and give us 5-star rating. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yes. And leave a comment on what you liked about that interview. Now back with more of our show. And like I said, the struggle is real, y'all. Lisa, the struggle is real, isn't it?
Oh, it is. It is. It's part of our divine purpose as mission-driven entrepreneurs. That's the truth.
We can't get around it, right?
No, you can't. If you are committed to really serving people, and it's part of your life fulfillment, it just seems to be how, if the business was born from a little bit of struggle and big ahas, it's usually up-leveled through struggle and some ahas.
So is the struggle always a part of the mission-based entrepreneur's journey, whether they're starting out, midway, or what?
I think it is always there, but it really needs to be addressed and digested and metabolized if you're committed to staying in a business that you love, that you feel aligned with, that you feel is on purpose. If you're okay to be going unconscious and, using, TV and food and other things to check out and numb out and, just focus on making money and not really, care much how it works, then, struggle, not struggle, it really doesn't matter. But if you're really committed to being fulfilled with your work and making sure that on your deathbed that you feel like you did what you were here to do, then I do believe facing struggle is essential.
Wow. What you said is so profound, because you mentioned, if you feel that way and being on your deathbed, and of course, with so many people passing away around us, us, friends and people we know and stuff like that, I've often thought, more so lately, but definitely when Mother was at the hospital, should that time where I'm ill and all I can do is, well, not should, eventually something's going to happen. And I'm laying up there looking back at the life, looking back at what I'm doing now, and all you have is what you've done in front of you. That's something that we all need to take a moment and consider as we move forward in life, and don't sweep it under the rug, because Les Brown always said the richest place on earth is the graveyard. So many people take their gifts and their talents and their purpose there instead of living it. I have a friend named Cinnamon that one time I was asking her, I said, Cinnamon, how do you stay so vibrant and so positive, and you're going through all these brain surgery after surgery, and sometimes you have to sign these documents, knowing that you may or may not come out of it, but you never sound depressed, you always sound energetic. And she said, you know what, Raven, I make it my intentions each and every day to get more life out of living and more living out of life. Isn't that beautiful?
It really is. And it's that sentiment that had me take the risk of naming something GFR, because it was a risk. It's funny and fun and all that. But I knew I was going to get, blowback and challenged on it. And ultimately I decided that I could not continue any longer without saying the things that I really wanted to say to entrepreneurs, and having a platform that really was conducive to that. And, there's a couple people in our studio audience that are that work with me more closely, and we call those group the No Regrets group. That's why, because if you're going to work with me more closely, you're all in, you're going for it. I'm eyes wide open. I'm going to look at all my stuff that comes up. The struggle is going to have a purpose, and I'm going to go for it. And because it is about having no regrets. I really, really believe that. And, my mom's in the studio audience, and she survived breast cancer when I was just 16 years old. And it just set me up with the notion that life is too short to be doing stuff that isn't fun, that you're not enjoying. So I'm pretty committed to that.
Speaking of fun, let's have some fun, y'all. And well, let's just call Lisa out on some of these things that keeps her effing real. That are some fun facts about her. Like, she's lazy. Tell us about that, Lisa.
I'm lazy. It inspires efficiency and shortcuts and lots of breaks and naps. And I am proud to be a lazy woman.
Lazy, but you also love TV, and I'm a TV kind of girl. Housewives, yeah, I want to see who's gonna smack who. No, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I think TV is my only vice left. Another part of my confessions is I was in a 12-step program in my 20s, early 30s for food addiction, because that was my drug of choice, as they say. And so I got no more vices left. And so TV is my indulgence. And I don't believe in guilty pleasures. I don't feel guilty at all. And we all have our poison when it comes to the music we're in the mood for. And I treat TV like that too. I got a whole host of an array of the ways that I like to indulge in TV.
Well, I know your mom is here. And one fun fact about you is you're from New Jersey and Phyllis, and your parents are from Brooklyn. Huh? Say what?
And she still has a Brooklyn accent after how many years? 40 years being away from Brooklyn. My mom still has a Brooklyn accent. It's pretty awesome.
Wow. Now, I want to bring up, your husband, who's an engineer. You said you've been married nearly 25 years.
25 years this week.
And he's the cool guy. He's the coolest. He's cooler than you.
He's a Renaissance man. He's creative. He's an engineer. He sings. He knows how to put on false eyelashes, and he's very eclectic man.
Now, also, a fun kind of sort of fact is you didn't want to have kids for 10 years.
No. Yeah, it's really interesting. I think that is a fun fact. We waited 10 years and I was really resistant. And my husband, who's the type A planner, said, don't worry, it's all going to work out. And I was like, no, I need to plan and we need money and I have my business. And we decided that we wanted to have kids. And a month later, I got pregnant. So yeah. Surprise.
Yeah, Jamie was my surprise baby. I was getting ready to go adopt me and her dad because we didn't think, I could have her. And surprise!
Wow. Yeah. And Jane adopted 3 or 4 children. Jane. She has 5 kids and adopted 3.
All right, Jane. That's awesome. That's awesome. Okay. So I want to talk a little bit more about your GFR Commandments. There's 12 of them, and we're going to share the screen and show those that are watching and those that are listening. You get to hear more about that. I'm excited to do this. Again, I want to remind you, you're listening to amazing women and men of power. And we are honoring and saluting this amazing woman. Her name is Lisa Cherney. Yeah. We're going to take a look at Lisa's amazing GFR Commandments. And I'm going to share the screen here so you guys can see them. Not only is it colorful, it's amazing, guys. You're going to love this.
And we could give the URL while you're able to do that.
Yeah, why don't we give out the URL? And if you have a link, drop it in the chat so that people can pull it up and look at it along with us.
So to grab your copy of the 12 GFR Commandments, you can go to my website at gfr.life, LIFE/12C, gfr.life/12C as in 1, 2, and the letter C for commandment. And you can get your own copy and also a how-to tutorial, real short, on how to use them. Because the idea is that you just pick one at a time that you are diving into, and until it's time to move on to the next one. And some people use it each day. It's like, where am I today? What confession question is the one that speaks to me today?
Mm-hmm. I mean, I think it was 4 that I chose for sure. A couple on the top and a couple on the bottom. So as you guys look at this, write down the number that you resonate with. And Lisa, I'm just going to name them. We're going to do kind of like a rapid fire GFR commandment a section of the show. And I'm going to mention them, and then you just feel free to give 2 to 3 lines on each one, okay? To take
Okay.
So let's start with don't compromise.
So each of the commandments has a confession question, and it's, don't be intimidated by the confession word. It's meant to give you a chance to just ask yourself and inquire, is this the one that I'm to be working on right now? So number 1 is don't compromise, and that confession is, what am I tolerating? What am I tolerating? And that is a juicy one to start with. They're actually not in any order, but that is a good one to start with.
Yeah, because, that's something we all need to ask ourselves. What am I tolerating that I need to get rid of? And actually we started off talking at the beginning of the show of what we're all going through right now. If you're listening to this, and where are we at now? May of 2020 due to COVID-19, and we have time to stop and pause, and we're not working as hard as we used to be, and we're meditating more. This is a good time to say, hey, life is looking better than ever now. I want to live through this thing. What am I tolerating that I need to let go, huh, Lisa?
Yes, absolutely.
Mm-hmm. Let go. I tell you, these segues, go Raven, go Raven. Let go of what doesn't feel good. That's
yeah, that confession question is, what doesn't feel good? What doesn't feel good? Which I know sounds so simple. And if we just pick that one and there's things that pop into our head like popcorn, that's the one. Just land on that one for a little while. Don't gloss over it. Just really sink into it and confess to yourself what doesn't feel good. My relationship, my body, my kid, my house, my office, my car, my health, all of the things, what doesn't feel good. And people, we avoid answering or asking what doesn't feel good and answering it because we feel like, well, what am I going to do about it? Like I got to kind of suck it up. And, we kind of go to I'm not willing to change it, or I don't think I can change it. But I think that it starts with just confessing what doesn't feel good. And then it's interesting to see how the universe will conspire to support you if you want to make a change.
Don't worry about it. Being normal, proper, or polite. Love that one.
Yes, this is my favorite one. Don't worry about being normal, proper, polite. It's great application to marketing as well. And that confession question is, where am I not speaking my truth? Where am I not speaking my truth?
Yeah, we talked about the struggle is real. What about trust that your struggle serves your mission?
Yes. And how will what I learned from this struggle serve me and my clients, and how have past struggles served me? That's the inquiry or the confession question for that one. And it will help you heal some shame about your past if you really take that one on.
I love number 5, Lisa. Make yourself your most important client.
This relates to what I was sharing earlier about walking our talk, and how even sometimes, I've told, and my clients are watching in the audience, they know sometimes I say to them, you are now your VIP client. You need to make yourself a priority. You need to clear your schedule and use all the things that your tools, and create space for yourself. And it's super powerful. So that confession question is, if I was my own client, what would I tell myself? What else would I tell myself? And what else?
Yeah. Have faith in yourself and your mission. Oh, yeah.
What would I do differently if I had faith in myself and in my mission?
What would you do differently? Yeah. I like that.
Yeah. That could be a good question for our studio audience. Like, I always find it interesting to take some of these confession questions and ask people, what gets illuminated for them.
Yeah. So you guys can start getting your questions ready. We're going to open it up. So think about that one. All right. So we're on number 7 now.
I have never gone through all of them on a show. So you are breaking some kind of record here, Raven.
I know. I aim to please. Yes, I do. Number 7, trust yourself and trust your gut. Yes, yes.
And what is my intuition telling me? What does my heart say? I'm all about my intuition and my heart and my gut. It never fails me, although I don't always listen.
Get that. Been there, done that. Wore the t-shirt and drank out the sassy coffee cup. For sure.
I have a fun coffee cup.
Let me see first.
Want to see my fun coffee cup?
Okay. I have to
see the button.
Wait a minute.
It says, have a great day. But then when I go to drink out of it, it has.
Oh, I see it now. What does it say?
A gesture. It has a gesture on the bottom.
Oh, I love that. I have another one that Shantha gave me, one of my hosts, and it's got different pictures on it. And it got me and Kaliki Baby. And then if I'm ever mad at Kaliki Baby, I can turn it and just be me. So thank you, Shantha. I love that one. Okay, so number 8, moving along with Lisa Cherney's 12 Get Freaking Real, I almost said the word, commandments, is number 8. Know that sometimes stopping is the most lucrative action to take. Really, Lisa?
Really.
Tell us some more about that one.
Well, the confession question says a lot, which is, where do I need to pause or stop but haven't because of fear? Gosh, we can run ourselves into the ground thinking we can't afford to stop, when really the opposite is often true, is that we can't afford not to stop.
Oh my goodness. It's kind of, you know what that makes me think of, when people used to say to me, because I was the client or the student, that would say, but I can't afford a marketing team, but I can't afford a virtual assistant. And they would say, you can't afford not to get it if you want to grow your business. Yeah. And so we say, I can't do this, I can't do that. And really, when it's almost the other way around, huh, Lisa?
Yes, I agree. It is.
Okay, so number 9, know that if you have a specific mission or calling, there are people who need it. Oh, yeah. I say,
Oh, yeah. Yep. If my mission was guaranteed to make money, what would I do? And I had a guest on today who said that he went from commandment 4, which was trusting that his struggle served his mission. And now he's at 9, which is knowing that his specific mission, you know, that if he has a calling, people need it. And I thought that was a cool relationship between the commandments, where you can kind of start with just trusting that your struggles, you know, has a purpose, and then getting to the place where you can now see that it's specific to a mission and that people need that.
Yeah, absolutely. And I love the fact that you said earlier, Lisa, that these are not in any particular order. And I just want to remind those that are listening, watching, or tuning in that they're not in any particular order, you know. Before we go on to number 9, why don't you real quickly, Lisa, kind of explain maybe the process of this or how they can use it, and then we'll jump into 9. Take a little commercial break for the GFR Commandments.
Well, really, the intention of how they work is that, in the directions say it, when you get your copy, you'll see the directions say, choose the confession question that hits you in the gut today and get writing. And what I see is that there usually is 1, maybe 2. A lot of people read them and they're like, oh my God, these all relate. But usually there's 1 or 2 that have a certain weight or a certain vibration or a certain, like, you know, big, bright, shiny spotlight, you know, onto that one. And it's worthwhile just to pause on that one. You know, like number 10 is, know that the struggle, stress, or pain prevented with your expertise has enormous monetary value. And that confession question, it really gets at if you're not charging what you're worth, which is, where am I not owning my value and what is it costing me?
Ooh,
you know, and it's like, that is such a juicy one for entrepreneurs. You know, a lot of people that come work with me more closely really see, like, I now know I'm awesome, and my business and my pricing does not reflect that. You know, I don't work with necessarily people that are just starting out. I work with people that are more seasoned. They're seasoned enough to know when they are not big or as out there or making as much of an impact as they are meant to be. That's how seasoned they are. And it's so frustrating when you've been doing this a while and you've made the investments, you know, in the systems and the blueprints and the formulas, and you still are feeling like, I feel like I've done all the things and I'm not where I want to be. And that's where this inner game, this GFR journey, that's where it becomes the top priority, not a secondary priority. So you can see with the commandments that they're really, really pivotal. Like, they could be real eye openers. Yeah, like number 11, I'm moving on, but number 11 is awesome as well, because it's about mistakes. And seasoned people often go back and look back at their mistakes, and they will sort of clamp down and ignore their creativity and ignore things that feel like a priority because they think that they're going to make those mistakes again. And so this one really speaks to that. It says, embrace you're not the same person you were when you made those mistakes, and they won't repeat. And that confession question is, what past mistakes are causing me self-doubt now? And I see this over and over again. Like, you know, I'm not going to do another business partnership because I had a business partner that screwed me over. And it's like, no, don't throw the baby out with the bathwater. Like, this partner that's like there for you, could possibly be the one that's actually going to take you to that next level. Like just, you know, and I've done this with, you know, investments. Like I've gotten into debt in the past, and then I'm like really timid about making investments, you know, in my business. And I see I'm not that same person. I'm not going to make those same mistakes.
Yeah. Let's let why don't someone unmute and read us number 12.
Where am I holding myself back? Find where you are holding yourself back and do whatever it takes to get out of your own way. It's a great one for me. I love that one, Lisa.
Yeah. You want to elaborate on that, any, Lisa?
Yeah, I think I love that Lisa started with the shame. We can say all these different words, but we've been finding at the base is the embarrassment of something. And so finding that base has really helped me with, I guess, truly shame. And it brings me back to my childhood, and I go, oh, I didn't clear a certain part of that, even though I've been doing this work for years. New clearing. So for me, Commandment 12 it gets me really my mindset up and running. And when I do that, it levels me up. I feel more free on Facebook Lives, free in my relationships, because as I evolve, I get very uncomfortable with my husband relationship and other relationships because it's time to GFR. I'm like, oh, crud. It's time for me to GFR again. I have to go talk to my husband and make sure I'm being real in my relationships. So it's a great way to level up and see that number 12 commandment.
Yeah, absolutely. Good job. Let's all virtually, wherever you are, all over the world, let's all say, Lisa, oh, Lisa, your 12 GFR commandments are juicy.
Juicy.
There it is, guys. Where can they get this again, Lisa? Where do they go?
Yeah, they go to GFR.life, so GFR.life /12, as in the 12 GFR commandments, 12C, GFR.life /12C. Grab your copy and you'll get a couple minute process on how to utilize them. And we'll also share some training on them. I've done a couple of my shows on them, so we point you to the shows so you can dive deeper into them and GFR, and then join the GFR squad if you're just totally loving it and want to be in community around GFRing.
All right. Well, we're going to open up the audience if I can. I'm unmuting everybody. I don't know how you got muted again because I certainly didn't do it. Let's welcome our live audience. We got Jane here. So, Jane, what'd you like best about what you heard today from Miss Lisa Cherney, your mentor, my mentor and friend?
Well, I love the whole piece that the underlying of all the commandments, Lisa and Raven, that talks about shame and perfectionism, really, which is kind of the operating system of shame, the things that I might want to do to keep myself from actually showing up authentically and to create some kind of processes that make me look perfect. That piece of letting go of perfectionism and letting go of the stall that's in my life because of perfectionism, the fact that I don't do things, don't show up for myself as well. It shows up in so many of the commandments, and working with you has really helped me to let go of that, and it's gotten to a place where I can see the shame pool, kind of like a cesspool, but it's a shame pool, and our work together has really allowed it to flow off of me, or I feel like I de-armor when I'm with you. I really appreciate that.
Well said. All right. Lisa, any feedback before we go to someone else in the audience you want to give Jane? Or
Well, and what Jane says is even more poignant because of what Jane does, right? Which is what we talked about of, walking our talk. Jane helps couples and women with intimacy and, their sexuality. And so shame obviously is a huge piece of, what she works with. And she's done amazing work herself, right, this year. And that has impacted her business and her willingness to put herself out there more and, kick imposter syndrome to the curb. And I've been working with Jane for 4 years, and it's like night and day watching her in her upward spiral. So thank you, Jane, for that reflection. I just want to acknowledge you too.
Awesome, awesome. So let's see, does anybody else have anything they want to share? What resonated with them on today's show, or just maybe even thank Lisa for being here, or better yet, which one of the GPR stand out to you, or one or two?
Mom, how about you? Phyllis.
And just to clarify one thing, I don't have an accent. California has an accent.
Oh,
I
okay.
just wanted to clarify that. Okay.
Mama said.
And for me, even when these first came out, and I just think they're incredibly, it really helps for me to get really inside of me and really, since nobody wants to say it, really get real with my life. And I think, where do I need to pause or stop, but have them because of fear? That's one that pops up for me all the time. And through this commandment and utilizing this commandment, what I have found is a lot of stuff comes bubbling up, and it's really stopping the story. You know, it's the story that's holding me back, you know, and it gets more elaborate and more unreal. So for me to stop, and I also do Transcendental Meditation, thanks for my daughter who we took the class together.
Oh, precious moments.
It really helps me get rid of the fears, and so many of it is just like Byron Katie says, it's a story, it's not real. So I honestly rely on where I need to stop and pause quite often, especially during this very, very challenging time. You know, I never considered myself, I hate the word, tell me to go myself, but don't call me elderly. But they're using the word elderly all the time, you know. So, you know, you're in that category, and, you know, I was feeling very vulnerable, but using commandment number 8 made me realize that, you know, doing the right things, social distancing, wearing a mask, you know, is that I was safe. And so I really, through COVID, have relied on commandment number 8.
That's interesting that you should say that, Phyllis, because I felt the same way. I was like, okay, everything, especially starting out in March, they were like pretty much, hey, if you're in your 60s, forget about it, stay home. You can deal with the fever. We got to take the young people. It really, it was really scary, because they were almost sounding like they weren't even gonna take us. You know, they prefer us to stay home. Like,
what really was frightening and really helped me focus on commandment number 8 is that we were dispensable. So what if the old people get sick and die? I mean, they've been around a long, long time, and they don't need to be here. And commandment number 8 really helped me not embrace that story, because that's bullshit. I know that I'm very blessed with a very close family, and I know my daughters need me, and I know my grandchildren need me, and that gives me a purpose. So, so the commandments have been very, very relevant, especially during this changing time.
Yeah, definitely changing, scary time. Yeah. Well, you know, you felt the same way I did, so I definitely get it. Thank you for sharing, for sure. We got time for a couple more before we wrap up, and we are getting ready to wrap up. Is there anyone else that would like to say anything in our live audience? And we want to invite those of you that have a chat, whether it's Twitter, Facebook, Periscope, or whatever, whenever you're watching this, to be sure to list which GFR commandment of Lisa's 12, that can be in any order, which one resonates with you. Take a snap.
Well, I don't have a question, but I do have a comment.
Hey, okay.
Hi. Hi, Lisa. I just want to say that I really enjoyed everything that you had to say. And actually, so many of the commandments resonated with me. So I definitely will be taking a further look and reflection with those commandments. And also, additionally, in the beginning, it really resonated with me. I think you were talking about things to do or that help you through this COVID time, or perhaps it was not just through the COVID time, but things that would just help you feel at ease being in your creative space, and also making sure that or not making sure, but also reinventing yourself. And I feel like those are two things that particularly right now I am a lot in my creative spaces, and I am additionally trying to, reinvent myself a little bit. And so a lot of what you said resonated, and I thought it was a very, very great discussion.
Oh, good. I'm so glad.
And also, I just adore Phyllis. She's very real.
Yeah, you can tell where Lisa got
Chip
it
off the old block, I am.
and the good looks.
Sorry, I didn't mean to call you an old block, Mom. No, thanks, Jamie. I really appreciate echoing that around the creativity, because it's such a juicy distinction. Creativity is so generative, like it's so like life-giving, and we have so many things now in our space that are not that. So as much as we can lean into that for ourselves, and I believe that our creativity will guide us to what our, like the reinvention, like your creativity will guide you. So I look forward to seeing, where that leads you.
Yeah, and really, I look forward to taking a deeper dive into your 12 commandments, because, like I said, a lot of them resonated with me, and I would like to do some reflection on them for sure.
Yeah, well, let me know what when you opt in for them, and then we'll be all linked up. You just reply to those emails and let me know like what's illuminating for you. I love to be in dialogue with people around them.
Okay.
And that goes for everybody. Once you grab them and you're in my orbit, I would love to hear how they're landing for you.
Yeah, everyone, please. I would love to hear which one resonates with you. So please put it in the chat room. And when you go back and listen to this on Amazing Unapologetically, what are you going to give? Not 1, not 2, not 3, not 4, but 5 stars on this one for sure. So me and Lisa will be smiling. Yeah, 5. Phyllis says 5. Yeah. We want to thank our live audience for coming in today. We'll do more of these. Lisa, thank you. You've been just a superstar. No, what did that guy say? You're a rock star, Lisa. Thank you for being here. And did I lose Lisa? Where's Lisa?
No, I'm here. I'm here.
We lost Lisa.
No, I'm here.
I can't see you.
There. She's here.
Everybody can see me but you, Raven.
You're a rock star, okay? And you guys are a rock star for hanging in here and listening. This was a lot longer than we normally do, but I told you guys it was like Michelle Obama getting her here, I had to take advantage of every minute. I had to soak in every single 12 commandments, GFR commandments. Yes, there you go. Get yours today. This is juicy. What is it, y'all? It's
juicy.
Okay. Unmute live audience. It's what? Juicy.
My mom has a juicy, a certain pitch. Thank you, Jane.
All right, guys. Listen, it has been just awesome having you here, Lisa, having the live audience here, and having all of you watching us from all over. We've been talking to Lisa Cherney about her awesome topic. Just do life unapologetically, right, Lisa? So what's the one thing that you want to say to people before we close out? The last thing about them, just being GF real. Okay, calm down. Go ahead, Lisa, close us out, girl.
Really take the time to ask yourself, what is holding you back? If you are feeling stuck in any way or feeling like you're not fully expressed, I'm so glad to give you the roadmap that you can inquire and GFR in your life, and it will bring abundance.
It will bring abundance. That's it, y'all. That's a wrap. I'm Raven Blair Glover, Raven and Talk Show Maven. This is our live audience. Let me bring us all to screen if I can do this. There you go. And that's Lisa Cherney in the green. And let's all go out there and be effing real, unapologetically. Yeah. All right, y'all. Absolutely. Oh, calm down. Calm down. Thanks, everyone. That's a wrap. We will see you next time. Bye, y'all.